Democrat donors, they're starting to ask questions because how could you spend $1.4 billion, the most ever, and have nothing to show for it? This Lindy Li, who I showed a little bit of earlier in the show, she went on recently to Fox News and talked about this. She said, Democrats have a stench of loser all around them. Well, they turned on her pretty fast. She may be leaving the Democrat Party. I think she is leaving the Democrat Party as a result. We'll play that soundbite for you. But first, here what kicked it off. Lindy Li going on Fox saying these people are total losers.
I think, unfortunately, the Democratic Party has a stench of loser written all over the party. And I'm sorry. And I'm speaking as a Democrat myself. This brings me no joy to say it. But I feel like the Democrats are going to be consigned to the wilderness for at least the next 4 to 8 years. And Jeff Bezos is probably thanking his lucky stars that he withheld that endorsement. And they're doing everything they can now to continue the détente. Remember what Zuckerberg said on July 13th when in Butler, Pennsylvania, there was an assassination attempt. He praised President Trump for being a badass.
Let me ask you about this idea of going out there and sort of kissing the ring. I mean, you have Zuckerberg doing his thing, Bezos. And by the way, I was really surprised that he decided to stay out of the fray and not let the Post do that. But as it turns out, it was a pretty shrewd move. What do you expect will happen when they go there and they have these conversations?
I think they're going to solidify the relationship between the business world and President Trump. And right now, the economy is ailing under the Biden-Harris administration. People are just they're suffering. Yes, inflation has come down, but cumulative price hikes are still eating away at people's pocketbooks, and people are dying for a change. So I think we're about to embark on an entirely new era of prosperity. I certainly hope so. And yeah, you can just feel it. Even in the last couple of weeks, Americans are celebrating. Trump's approval rating is incredibly high. People are in support of his transition. The momentum is just tremendous. And I'm speaking as a Democrat, and I'm feeling it as well.
Nah. Somebody just asked if this live stream is live. You better believe it is. Totally live. So I see everything you write. Careful. I saw that too. So Lindy Li, yes, has come out, and people have mixed feelings about it. She's just an opportunist who's trying to get in on the action. Better late than never. Well, she took a lot of heat for some of these comments, like a lot of heat. And so then she got out there and she said, I don't know if I can really deal with being part of this party anymore because what they've done to me. Listen.
I just want to echo what a lot of you guys already said. This past week has been harrowing for me. This Saturday, I went on Fox and Friends and I said that Democrats have a stench of loser hanging over them.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, there were boycott campaigns against me, unblock, unfollow campaigns. I lost 40,000 followers.
Really?
In 4 days. People have called me the W word. I don't know what we're allowed to say, but you can fill in the blank.
We're uncensored. Let's say it. Say it. Say what the word was.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
They called me a whore. They called me the C word. They asked for me to be deported. And you can just search for my name in those terms on X and you'll see a bunch of them. So, all these so-called Democrats, the party of inclusion, the party of diversity, masks off. And it's even worse because they pretend to occupy the moral high ground. At least with Republicans, they are who they are. But with Democrats, they pretend to be, so loving and caring and embracing of diversity. But all of a sudden, when I dare to utter any criticisms of the goddess, Kamala Harris, I get ostracized. Me, after having raised tens of millions of dollars for the party. And I'm being called a grifter when all along, all these years, I've said on TV, I've said to the press, I'm a conservative Democrat. This is not a switch for me. This is just me. This is who I've always been. Yeah. And also, my donors are pissed. They raised $2.5 billion across Super PAC in the campaign. It's my responsibility. It's my duty of care to ask what the hell happened with that money? Why did we spend it? Why did we spend millions of dollars on five-star hotels for campaign staffers? Why did we spend $500,000 essentially bribing Al Sharpton moments before he interviewed Kamala? These are legitimate questions, but no, in the cult, you can't ask questions. Yeah. And leaving the Democratic Party or even questioning the Democratic Party is like leaving a cult. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Okay. So she's leaving a cult, and it's terrifying. I mean, I'm looking at some of your comments here. She did say Republicans, they are what they are. What exactly does that mean? I see what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think she's doing some soul searching, though, because she's like, wait a second, I was part of this party, and they're all like kumbaya, and now I realize they're actually not very nice people. Not very nice people at all. And the minute I criticize them and I criticize their fearless leader, that one Kamala Harris, who's really not their leader anymore, like everybody knows that, but you're not supposed to say it apparently. Now she's in so much trouble. And they're calling her all these names and they're really, really unpleasant. Well, I could have told you that. I mean, it's not a pleasant group of people. Let's take them at face value. Just watch MSNBC, Lindy. You'll know exactly who these people are. Go back and look at, the soundbite I just showed you of Joe Scarborough saying, I'm not lying. This is the best Biden I've ever seen. You're lying, buddy. Okay, you're lying. That's the one thing I sort of like about conservatives, because you can generally trust their word, right? We're good folks. We're good people. And we mean what we say. And we follow through, and we're not two-faced. And I can't say the same about the left. And Lindy's just kind of coming to that realization. So I'm not going to be too hard on her. I think that we do need to be a big tent, and I think that she's gonna get more heat from them sooner rather than later. So she is brave in coming forward, and I think you're gonna perhaps see an entirely different kind of Democrat Party in the future. This is going to be a realignment, a massive realignment, because they've lost their way, clearly. I mean, this was a party that prided themselves on being working class Joe types, right? And that's what Biden allegedly was 50 years ago, if he ever was. I don't totally buy that. I think this is a little bit of a mirage. But they pretended like they cared. And then we found out they don't. They care about themselves and themselves only.